Yeah, thank you so much for making time for us this evening. As you know, the whole country will be celebrating Nelson Mandela. And we believe and we were given to understand that you've had an opportunity to, have a personal encounter with him during your time of in prison, that is. Can you just tell us about, your encounter with him in prison? What year was that?
That was 1978.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Do you remember the exact month?
It was run about May,
Yeah.
1978.
Okay. How old were you at the time?
I was about 19 years of age.
Okay. All right. Okay, cool. Do you remember anything specific as you were running into Nelson Mandela? And I would believe that it never really happened a lot of time. At the time, do you remember any specific, event or incident as you were running into each other?
Yes, what he used to tell us is that we need to concentrate on the struggle, on education, on liberating the country and the people.
Okay. Right.
Yes.
What would you say you admire about him?
Right. What I can admire is that he brought out free education, and there's also Mandela Children's Fund for the orphans, for the homeless.
Yeah.
And one other thing, I'm happy that he was one of the delegates who went to negotiate for World Cup to be hosted in South Africa.
Yeah. To date, what would you say are some of the principles that you've taken from him? Some of the principles that he lived by himself, that you've adopted from him.
What he used to say, the principle is that we must have good leadership qualities and so forth. We should not betray our own people. We should stand steadfast into our principles and so forth. We need to liberate our people, to emancipate our people, to give them the freedom they deserve.
Okay. All right. How do you think he should be, with the country and the whole world, how do you think Mandela should be celebrated, his memory to be remembered by?
Yeah, that means on that particular day, people should understand that the freedom did not just come as easy as this was, because people have paid the price and so forth. And thus, people should try to do the right things and so forth.
Okay. Right. Okay. How would you describe your life as you see him in prison? How was life like then?
All right. Life in prison was very, very difficult because Mandela and other groupings were working at the quarry, and that place, it is a shiny place that affected everybody's eyesight. That's why you find that most of the leaders from Robben Island, they are wearing spectacles, they are wearing glasses and so forth. And secondly, life was not good because they didn't eat proper, healthy food. Thirdly, they were sleeping on a very thin mat. There were no pillowcases. They would take their clothes, wrap up their shoes, and make a pillowcase out of a pillow out of those things. Medically, the doctor comes once a month. That means you must persevere until the doctor comes and so forth. Yeah.
How do you feel to have been side by side, almost side by side, fighting the struggle with Nelson Mandela?
It was nice because it was courageous. Yeah, it was courageous that we are not alone, but we are together in the struggle. Yes.
Okay, all right. So thank you so much for sharing your words. thoughts and your memories with us, especially in celebration of the great legend and the big icon, Nelson Mandela.
Okay, thanks very much, brother.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Okay.